Hi guys, Luckvlog here and welcome to F1 2019. I know what you're thinking, this isn't FIFA 19, what are you doing playing another game? Well, obviously FIFA 19 is pretty much dead now, Team of the Season has finished. I know we're getting the footies on Wednesday, which hopefully should be a good promo, but it's not enough just to be enough videos for my channel, just like a promo that's on for a couple of weeks. So I thought I'm going to start switching to a few games over this, these 3 months until FIFA 20 is released. I'm going to play a few other games, for example, like F1 2019, which was released this week, and just enjoy playing different games for a change, basically, before we get FIFA 20. And today I'm going to be focusing on the Legends edition of the game, Senna versus Prost. Now, as you can see, I've already completed 2 of the 8 challenges. We're going to be replaying those challenges because I've already recorded this video and I played it back and you couldn't hear any of the game sound, which means you couldn't hear any of the awesome car noises, which I'm sure some of you guys wanted to hear. You just don't basically want to hear my voice. So there's 8 challenges to complete, and once all those challenges are completed, you do unlock the 1990 McLaren MP4 as well as the 1990 Ferrari F1. So we're going to go back and do these 2 challenges, one around Monaco, the checkpoint challenge, and then the overtake challenge in Italy. So we are a little bit now familiar with the game and the 2 cars. Basically what we're going to do for each challenge is, one challenge we're going to use the Ferrari, the other challenge we're going to use the McLaren. So we basically just get experience of using the 2 cars, and then obviously once all those challenges are complete, we will be given both cars to use a multiplayer, any other classic car events, stuff like that, which is pretty awesome. So we're going to start off with the checkpoint challenge. I am going to continue with the medium difficulty, which I originally did it on. I could push to hard, but I don't want to sit here and make mistakes around Monaco, so I'm going to leave it on medium, and we're going to start off by using Alain Prost in his Ferrari F190 car. Now, I am personally more of a bigger fan of the Ferrari car than the McLaren. I think it just sounds a bit nicer, but as you can see, Monaco looks so awesome. It's such a shame that Codemasters couldn't introduce the classic versions of these tracks, like a classic Monaco, a classic Interlagos, because there's one challenge in Brazil. We didn't get a classic Suzuka, stuff like that, but hopefully maybe they can add those maybe along this game cycle as maybe DLC content. I'm not too sure. I think it's something that is probably the next move for Codemasters, trying to release more classic tracks like we got back in F1 2013. It was now. We've never seen them since then. But yeah, so basically the gist of this challenge is relatively straightforward. All we have to do is overtake it and Senna, and then essentially just keep going through the gates in time. We'll basically read a little bit of a description now. So, race around the track until you reach the target distance whilst also staying ahead of your rival. Additional time is added to your counter with each checkpoint cross. So, obviously using Prost's Ferrari at Monaco, and we have a time limit of 47 seconds to get through the gate as well as overtaking it in Senna. And at Monaco, that is not an easy thing to do, but the Ferrari just sounds absolutely fantastic, and the graphics on this game are insane. There's such an improvement. I actually haven't played F1 since F1 2017, so that's why I got the dynamic racing line on for all of the track, especially at Monaco, because I'm not too experienced with Formula 1 games at the moment. I did actually go off F1 for a little bit, but I got back into it this season. It's been an interesting season. I mean, we've got the Austrian Grand Prix this weekend, and it's going to be a great race, I have the feeling of, obviously, with Mercedes finally struggling to a certain extent, and hopefully Lance Stroll can get a few more points in F1. But anyway, let's try and get to this certain Senna. He's just currently going through, coming out of the tunnel as we speak now. I'm hoping we can try and overtake him ASAP, and then obviously we've got to try and get a distance of 7.5 kilometers through all the gates. So we're going to make sure that we don't get disqualified as well for corner cutting. That's actually another bit of a problem that we could encounter. But also the point of this series is to basically see whether it's to go, whether it's worth buying the Legends Edition. All you get for buying the Legends Edition is essentially these 8 challenges, as well as like a few extra in-game items like helmet designs and stuff like that. I'm not going to overtake Senna here, just a bit of a tight corner. I'm going to try and take him into, I think Zandvoort is called the first corner, Zandvoort or something like that. I'm going to try and overtake him on the outside. That was a little bit too easy. I think I should probably look at maybe putting the difficulty up to hard, but around Monaco, I'm kind of happy to leave it at medium. Now the chance is obviously to try and hit the target of getting through these gates and getting to just over 7.5 kilometers in distance. But yeah, as I was saying, I want to basically just show you guys whether, in my opinion, whether it's worth going and spending it. Basically an extra £20 on top of the normal edition for this extra content. Now myself, I think it will be worth it because I am into classic cars and stuff from Formula 1, and obviously we're already given loads just by buying the standard edition, but obviously these are 2 very iconic cars, and I've watched obviously a lot of movies on Senna and stuff, so it was an addition that I definitely wanted to buy. But we've got 28 seconds to the next gate. We're currently just over 5 kilometers going through the next one. Now we should be able to do this. But this Ferrari just sounds fantastic. I'm actually going to go quiet for a second and just leave you guys with the noise of this Ferrari. Just a fantastic sounding car, and we had a bit of a, I think it was oversteer or understeer, I'm not too sure, coming out of that corner like that. Obviously the downforce on these cars is awful, but it does make them pretty fun. So we're currently just at the 7 kilometer point. We're going to be able to do this challenge. I don't think you get anything bonus for going like well over 7.5 kilometers. I don't think you get anything extra. It's just as long as you get the 7.5 kilometers, that's fine. So we've obviously hit that challenge, which is fantastic. I'm going to keep on going, just see how far we can get into the hairpin. Going to be able to make this one. Awesome. Hit the barrier just slightly. I don't know if we're going to quite make next one. I don't think we are. No, we do. Just about. We won't make the next one though, definitely not. We're going to get to 9 kilometers. We're going to be just under the 9 kilometers. That was pretty good, though, for the first challenge. Pretty exciting around Monaco, of course. It's just a shame it's not the classic Monaco, but even so, Monaco hasn't really changed that much since 1990. As you can see that I'm rocking the Prost helmet. That's one of the extra additions you get for buying this edition. So, yeah, just under 8 kilometers. Just under 9 kilometers, which is pretty awesome. So, let's get into the second challenge. Okay, so into the second challenge. It is the overtake challenge pass goal. We got to overtake 10 opponents. This goal is to overtake the field of drivers, including your rival, before the time runs out. Now, for this one, I have switched to Senna's McLaren. So for every challenge, we're going to basically swap between the Ferrari and the McLaren. And we are at Monza for this one, and we've got a time limit of 5, just over 5 minutes to overtake the 10 opponents, which I'm guessing does also include Prost at the same time. And I'm guessing he's probably going to be at the front of the pack as well. But here we are in the McLaren now. I've got to be honest, I just don't think the McLaren sounds anywhere near as good as the Ferrari. In a minute, I'll just basically let you guys listen to the sound of the car. Don't get me wrong, it does still sound pretty good, but just not quite as good as the Ferrari, in my opinion. But basically, we've got a bunch of what looks like Lotuses to overtake here. Alright, I think they were the 1978 Lotus, so we're going to overtake basically those. I'm guessing they got like similar-ish speeds, capabilities compared to these 1990 cars. There's the first one done. So I'm going to leave you guys with just a minute or so just to listen to the in-game sound of this McLaren. And there we have it. So, you know, don't get me wrong, it still sounds pretty awesome, but just, yeah, not quite on the level of the Ferrari. But I think the design of these cars is obviously awesome. The only shame is you can't have the Marlboro sponsor on the McLaren, which makes obviously these McLaren cars from this time period so iconic, but obviously they can't have that because Marlboro is a smoking brand. So they can only have like the Honda symbols and stuff like that on the edge of the car, which is still pretty awesome, but just not quite as iconic. I don't know what I don't think the Ferrari had any smoking sponsors. I know Williams had Camel, or was that Lotus at the time? I can't remember. There was a lot of smoking brands at the time on F1 cars, but I don't think Ferrari had one. I'm pretty sure they didn't either. Anyway, but past Visor there, and now we're up towards Izui, or however you pronounce his name. Just over 3 minutes left. Should be able to do this challenge. You've already got half of the cars out the way, but obviously still Prost to pass. Come on, come on. There we go. But, yeah, for this edition of for this edition of F1 2019, we've only been given like 4 additional classic cars compared to F1 2018. That being these 2 cards, you can obviously only get so far through the Legends DLC, but also if you get the Anniversary DLC, which is like maybe, I think, a couple pound more than the original edition, you do get the McLaren F1 2010 and the Ferrari F1 2010 cars, which aren't classic cars in my opinion, but I suppose it's more content. But anyway, up to the Parabolica here. 7 of the 10 cars overtaken. So just these 2, and then we're left with Prost. So around the outside there now, Lawrenson, or Lawson, however you say his name, he's done. So Prost is just ahead of us on the straight. So we should be able to hopefully get him in this lap in the next 2 minutes. You can get around Monza in, what, like a minute and a half? I think it's the average lap time around here, maybe. I can't remember. Heavy braking. Right in our sights. And I think once we pass him, we just have to wait until the time does run out. But the graphics on this game now are just absolutely insane. I just absolutely love them. They're fantastic. So much more realistic than previous F1 games. I mean, obviously, I didn't play... I think I mentioned before, I didn't play F1 2018. Which obviously did have better graphics than F1 2017, which is the last F1 game I properly played. But I've heard a lot of people, as we do get Prost there, I've heard a lot of people talking about how good this game is for graphics and how almost realistic it looks. I think you probably get a better perspective by using the current F1 cars than these classic ones. But these still look pretty awesome as we go into the... Is this the Senna S's? It's either the Senna S's, the Schumacher S's, or the Ascari S's. I can't remember what it is. Not Monte Carlo. Monza is very weird. The only proper corner name I know for Monza is the Parabolica that we're coming up to here. So 45 seconds left on this challenge. It's going to be 2 from 2 with pretty much ease, which is good. And then I'm going to cover another 2 on a different episode. So there'll be like 4 episodes in this mini-series. I don't know if I'm going to cover anything else for F1 2019. Maybe some multiplayer. I don't think I'll do a career mode. Although I will do one offline by myself. I don't know if I'll do one on YouTube. Maybe I might do if people want me to see me do one. But yeah, just under 20 seconds. Just about made that corner there. And yeah, we're pretty much done this challenge, which is awesome. Okay, so... there we go, that one's done. So that's 2 of the 8 done for this DLC, if you want to call... well, it is DLC, basically. They get extra added-on content. But that was pretty fun. Yeah, I didn't enjoy the McLaren as much as the Ferrari at all. Don't get me wrong, the McLaren's still fun to use. But the thing I like more about the Ferrari is there's already a 1991 McLaren available in the game just by buying the standard edition, and in my opinion, you can't notice much of it. If anything, the 91 McLaren, I've used the 91 McLaren before, sounds nicer than the 1991. Considerably nicer, in fact. The next Ferrari that you can get is like the 2004 one now, I think, because they removed the 95 Ferrari for whatever reason. But yeah, so that's 2 of the 8 challenges. Let's have a quick look at what the other challenges are for the next episode, and then we'll pretty much finish off this one here. I mean, I could look at doing stuff like the weekly events, which is online. So in this case, the weekly event this week is around Austria, or maybe do some F1 online leagues or something like that. But the next 2 challenges we got are the Pursuit in Brazil and Time Attack in France. So I'm guessing that's around Paul de Ricard, and then the current Brazilian track is Interlagos? Yeah, Interlagos, I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, that's going to finish this video here, guys. So obviously, I know it's a lot different from FIFA 19, but I hope people that maybe are new to the channel and have never seen my videos before, hopefully you have enjoyed it, or if you do usually just watch my videos on a consistent basis, hopefully you still have enjoyed this video. And yeah, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.